Hey guys, welcome back. If you've already been here, thanks for coming back. If you are new, thanks for checking me out. I am Lizzie, and today we have the beginning of something brand new on this channel. And this is going to be the spin-off to my new series, and let's get into it. So, let's start with the fact that there is a Bigfoot behind me. That's right, this new series is about Bigfoot. And I put Bigfoot in quotations because I want to talk about Bigfoot not only in the United States, not only in North America, but the entire freaking world. Every continent. We are going to be talking about the different Bigfoots there. And it's going to be a whole series. So, I would like to spin this series off with a personal family Bigfoot story time. And I know what everybody's thinking. There's no way you have a story time about Bigfoot. Bigfoot isn't in New York State. You would be wrong. So, first of all, there is Bigfoot in New York State. One of the most famous Bigfoot stories happens to be in New York State. It's called The Beast of Whitehall, and Whitehall happens to be in New York State, and only a handful of hours away from me, as I know. But this story does not take place anywhere near there. It takes place right across the road from my house. So, I want to start off this story by telling you the people involved were, number one, all boys. And as I know, none of them were over 20 years old. Like, I think they were mostly in their teens. I know some were, my cousin specifically was young, like young. So I'm guessing between 5 and 10 maybe. I don't know exact ages. I don't know the exact year. So I'm guessing it was between the 70s and 80s. I don't know exactly when. But as I said, this story takes place right across the road from my house, down a very, very rugged, long trail, like a trail that goes across the entire state. And this is where this takes place, and let's just get into it. So, back between 70s and 80s, I guess it was, my mother's family used to camp down here. They would camp. I'm not sure if this was by the time that they had moved down here. I think it was, which is when they put a trailer where one of the cabins used to be, and there was another cabin, which was where my mom stayed. And basically, they would camp down here. They would just, them, their friends, the family friends, the cousins, everybody used to just come down and camp. But specifically this night, it was just, I believe, one or two of my uncles, some of my mom's cousins, and my cousin, who at the time was the youngest. And, like I said, this trail was really rugged. Like, this place was wild. It's like going out into the middle of the wilderness and tent camping, which is exactly what they did. And the amount of people that actually go down there shocks me, because there's people like parked at the end of my driveway all the time, who go down and hike for days on end. So anyway, I guess they just decided to go down there and go tent camping this night. And they go down, and one thing that was quite frequent was my grandfather was quite the prankster. And around dark, not too late, probably around 9, 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, if the kids go down there, he would snatch them up into the trees. He would cover their mouths and run off with them. He was a prankster. But this took place probably around 2 to 3 a.m. And so my grandparents were not even awake. I don't even think my mom was awake, who was in the cabin, which we'll come into later. So it's around 2 to 3 a.m. There's, I don't know exactly how many tents, but I know there was more than one. and they're sleeping, whatever, and they start to hear something circling their tents. I think my fiance's home. Anyway, so they start to hear something circling their tents, which begins to wake them up. And not long after they hear this, they start to hear rocks being thrown at them. And like I said, this is at like 3 a.m. Nobody's awake. There's no way it's anybody down there. And they stay there for a while, and it keeps circling their tents, and it keeps like, and it sounds big. Whatever they thought it was, it said it sounded big. So there's rocks being thrown. There's something circling their tents. So they do the most irrational thing, which I would not have the balls to do. They get out of their tents and run back to my mom's cabin. And mind you, the trail down to where they were is a very, very, very steep hill. It's rugged, very rugged. And in the middle of the night, I don't know how they even made it back. And these boys to men, were so afraid that they left my cousin, who at the time was the youngest, carrying the dog, carrying it. And they left him behind because they were so scared. And like I said, these are not girls, no girls, all boys. And they're so scared. They're running up a very steep, rugged trail at 3 a.m. And they come bounding into my mom's cabin, because my mom used to stay in a cabin. And they tell her the story that there was something down there circling their tent, throwing rocks, and they were so scared that they left in the middle of the night, which I couldn't do. I don't even go outside at night, for example. And they were so scared that they left their tents. They left everything, including my cousin, who was trailing behind them. He did eventually come up with the dog. They left everything down there. They didn't even pack up their tents. This is how badly this scared them. And it's, like I said, all boys, almost to adults. I'm assuming they were all teenagers. And they never found anything afterwards. I'm assuming they just went back down and got their tents the next day. But just the fact that they were so scared, they left, and it was like 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, and like, they must have been so scared. My mom said they were terrified because they woke her up and like told her what was happening, because I think she was probably the most rational of them all, but they were terrified. They were terrified enough to leave everything, and I think that speaks words. So, and if you do not know anything about Bigfoot, you would know that that is probably a typical Bigfoot encounter, you know, circling a tent, throwing rocks. That's just strange but weird. So, like I said, they never found any footprints or anything that I know of. But that was their story. That's the only Bigfoot story we have in our family, but just the fact that they were in the rugged woods down this trail, I mean, it would be a perfect habitat for something unknown to stay in, because not a lot of people actually venture down into the woods. Specifically on the state they were on, because it was part of my grandparents' property. I don't think people went down there as often as they do probably now. Like I said, there's actually quite a few people that go down there now still, but I can't imagine even encountering something like that. But who knows? Maybe I will this summer when I might go Bigfoot hunting. I don't know. Guess we'll have to see. So that is my family's Bigfoot story time. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for the new series where I dive into the world of Bigfoots, and I bring to you, by continent, every species of Bigfoot that I can research on the internet. So I hope you love this video. Stay tuned. Subscribe You can hit the notification bell if you're really excited about it. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this story, and maybe let me know what you think. Do you think it could have been a Bigfoot? I don't know. Like I said, there have been sightings up here in New York State, and this was a long time ago, so I don't know. So stay tuned for the new series, guys. Bye.